Classical conditioning is a type of learning in which a stimulus acquires the capacity to invoke a response that was originally invoked by another stimulus. Today, I will be showing you how I use the classical conditioning test to condition my daughter. A neutral stimulus is a stimulus which initially produces no specific response other than focusing attention. In this case, when I whistle, it catches her attention. But at this point, she doesn't know why. A conditioned stimulus is a stimulus that can eventually trigger a conditioned response. In this case, the CS would be whistling. In classical conditioning, an unconditioned response is an unlearned response that occurs naturally in reaction to the unconditioned stimulus. An unconditioned stimulus is a stimulus that leads to an automatic response. In this case, the unconditioned stimulus would be tickling. A conditioned stimulus is a stimulus that once was neutral, didn't get a trigger response, but now leads to a response.
Don't tickle me, please.
The neutral stimulus would be whistling, because a neutral stimulus is a stimulus which initially produces no specific response other than focusing attention. When I whistle, it catches her attention. The conditioned stimulus would be whistling as well, because a conditioned stimulus is a stimulus that can eventually trigger a conditioned response. So eventually, when I start to whistle, she will know that I'm going to tickle her right after. The unconditioned stimulus is a stimulus that leads to an automatic response. In this case, tickling her leads to a reaction of laughing. The unconditioned response is laughing. And that leaves us with a conditioned response, which in this case would be her knowing that she is going to get tickled, because a conditioned response is a learned response by a previously neutral stimulus. In this case, the neutral stimulus was whistling. Now my daughter knows when I whistle, she's going to be tickled. And now you know, an unconditioned stimulus triggers an unconditioned response. And a conditioned stimulus triggers a conditioned response. And the neutral stimulus and conditioned stimulus are normally the same.